Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Shooting the with Yankee. As always, I'm Yankee, so let's start shooting. Today I want to know your opinion on whether 18-year-olds to 20-year-olds should be allowed to buy and carry guns. Should they be protected under the Constitution to the full extent of people over the age of 21? Or did the founders never intend it for them? There's lots of different opinions on this. Some people think they're just too immature, but other people will say, well, but they can vote. And I'm like, well, you don't justify two negatives with a negative or one negative with another negative. You fix both of those things. You say you can't vote till you're 21. But I want to know what you all think. Do you support the rights of 18 to 20-year-olds to purchase and carry firearms? And I'm going to start off as usual, and my vote is going to be for no. I do not support 18 to 21-year-olds carrying guns because, one, I do not believe the founding fathers considered them adults, and they pretty much said so. They said 18-year-olds are not adults. They're children still, that you were considered legally a child under their watch until you were 21. So I don't think they're protected under the Constitution, under their full rights until they're 21, just like the founders intended. Now, a lot of people will say, but they allowed them to be part of the militia. Well, of course, our country's good at letting kids go die for their country. But even then, they said in a lot of their writings that they counted on 18 to 21-year-olds, 18 to 20-year-olds not owning firearms, but having access to firearms owned by their father. So they pretty much didn't support 18, 20-year-olds being able to buy their own gun. You couldn't do anything at 20 years old without your parents' approval. You could be married for 5 years, have your own kids, but you still had to get your parents' approval for legal things. You couldn't sign legal documents. You couldn't enter into contracts, any of that stuff. So there's no doubt the founding fathers didn't consider 18-year-olds to be adults. I don't consider 18-year-olds to be adults. Their brains aren't even fully formed till they're 25. That's an average. So I'm okay with saying, hey, all your rights kick in where you have to have good judgment, like voting, etc., at 25. And up until then, you get limited rights. I'm fine with that. So no, I do not support 18 to 20-year-olds having the right to buy firearms. However, I also have an opinion if they're going to make them go to war, let them vote and everything else, you can't have it both ways. You can't say, oh, well, we gave them the right to vote back in blah, blah, blah. Well, that was wrong. That's the wrong thing to do. You should take it away. They're not mature enough. Constitution can be changed. You did away with alcohol at 1.2. You put it back. Same thing with voting rights for 18-year-olds. Founding fathers didn't put that in there. Later generations did, and they made a mistake. They can take it back out. However, if they don't take it back out, well, then, if you want to say they're adults at 18, you want to rewrite what the founders intended, then it goes for everything. But like I said, I don't believe in it. I'm anxious to hear what other people have to say. So let's get over here and look. Johnny Mandrick says if they are old enough to vote, serve in the military, tried as an adult, and pay taxes, then yes, personally, no. Raise the adult age to 21. Yes, I agree. Raise the adult age. I say 25. You could probably convince me 35 now that I'm old, but 25. I think 25 years old should be the full age where you can vote, where you can enter into contracts and blah, blah, blah. I think they take advantage of too many 18 to 20-year-olds. Credit card companies take advantage of them. The military takes advantage of them. Pretty much car companies take advantage of them. I just don't think you should be able to do that with an 18 to 20-year-old. I think an 18-year-old walks into a car lot and signs on a line for a loan they don't even understand. Well, they should have to have parental approval for that or show that they've been emancipated, because they don't have the judgment or the knowledge. I feel that way about a lot of things. I don't like young people. Fuck them. Sean Bain said, no, not mature enough. Today's age, they just care about social media posts. Well, they're not mature at that age. They're not even close. Their brains are not fully formed. They care too much about peer pressure and all this other stuff. I just say no. It's another no. There's two no's there right off the bat. I was thinking this would all be all yeses. But so far, two no's right off the bat. Mams, who I don't know, says if 18, class required for competency, full rights at 21. Well, I don't even think I agree with that because, well, I don't like classes, but if you're only saying the classes for 18, 20-year-olds, okay, that's fine. But being competent with a firearm doesn't mean you're mature enough to handle that firearm under all situations. And there's not a way to test for maturity. So I don't agree with you, but your point is made. And you will be counted. I think that would be a yes, but with a test. Edgar Cortez says, no, most 18-year-olds are impulsive and with limited consequential thinking. They get angry easily. I support 21 years or even 25 years of age. Yes, me too. 100% we agree. 100% agree. Full Auto 5x56 says, yes, should be mandatory for males, optional for ladies. No, I don't agree with any mandatory gun ownership. Like forced service or forced patriotism. I don't like any of that stuff. So no, I do not agree with that at all. But your vote is counted. If they can vote, sir, this is Mikey D, by the way. If they can vote, serve, marry, and have their other rights, then yes. But with the mentality of the young people today, it makes me nervous. Well, it makes me nervous too, and I don't support it. Founding fathers did not consider 18-year-olds adults. They did not consider 19, 20-year-olds adults. They clearly listed them legally as children up until 21 years of age. I know a lot of people think, well, back in the day, you were an adult at 14, you can get married. No, none of that is true. You couldn't even get married without your parents' approval till you were 21 years old. That's why when some people get married at like 17, 18 years old, in some states still, they have to go get permission from their parents, even at 18, to get married. They have to have their father sign off on the marriage license at 18, 19 years old. Mad Dog, yes, I say move it to 16. If you can drive, you can get a gun. Oh, I disagree completely. I don't agree with 16-year-olds driving either. I think they shouldn't be allowed out of the house without their parents. If they get a job, their parents have to take them, or they have to take public transportation, and they're not allowed to go anywhere but the public transportation and their job. They are not allowed to be in public without their parents. I'm okay with rounding them all up at around age 13, putting them on an island or in the middle of the desert somewhere in a camp where they get all their schooling, and then we let them out when they're 21. I'm okay with that. Goddamn kids. Mr. Furley, if they can pass a CCW class, then have at it. Well, I don't like CCW classes, period. I don't think it's an infringement. I think it's an infringement on our rights. Maybe not for 18, 20-year-olds, but like I said, just being able to be competent with a firearm doesn't mean just because you can shoot the wings off a fly at 100 yards in 0.3 seconds doesn't mean that you have the emotional maturity to have that gun on you. Of course, a lot of adults don't either, but you got to set the line somewhere, and the line should not be 18 in my mind. Paul B says, "Hail Phil, yes, but maybe a testing process first." Well, once again, how do you test for maturity? And maturity is the issue here. And I don't think they're protected under the Constitution. I actually agree with the lawyers that actually fought to overturn the whole idea that 18-year-olds could carry guns and to defend the 21-year-old age limit, because it does seem the founding fathers felt the same way. And since we're supposed to consider the Constitution with the intent it was written with, well, then founding fathers didn't intend for it to be for 18 to 20-year-olds. Ungrateful Colonial says, I think all rights should come at the same time. We can make that 18 or 21, but you are either able to have your rights or not. Well, that makes it hard to vote, to choose which one are you. Okay, so is that a yes? That since you can do other things now, they should be able to carry? Or do you think other things should be moved to 21? It doesn't really answer yes or no on the question. So I don't know how we would count that one. Go Shadow says majority of those under 30 now are not mature enough for firearms or to drink. Well, you shouldn't drink and drive, period. Even if you're older. I don't care if it's just a couple. If you're going to be drinking, don't drive. If you're going to be driving, don't drink. I mean, what kind of problem does a person have? And I see people all the time like, well, I'm supposed to go out to dinner with friends and not have a couple drinks. I'm like, well, yeah, if you're driving, why is that hard for you? I never drink alcohol. So why is it hard for you to go out tonight? Circumstances don't allow me to drink alcohol. So it'll have to be next week or tomorrow or whenever. Never understood that. If that's hard for you, then you probably got a problem. Some people. Too many young now, really dumb, said Ghost Shadow. So I guess that's a no from Ghost Shadow. John Heasley said no, just said no. MLS chimed in, but didn't say yes or no. And then John Heasley said again, no to 18-year-olds. Well, we kind of figured it. Oh, MLS chimed in again. This time he actually said something. He said yes, he's for. Bunker in Texas said that's a no for me. Well, you and me are in the same bunker because we both voted no. He said that's a no for me. John M. Mandrick chimed in and says they also only considered white males who owned land, citizens able to vote. Well, that doesn't affect what they thought of maturity. They didn't feel that even white males were mature enough at 18 years old to be protected by the Second Amendment. Their other bigoted beliefs have no effect on that whatsoever, no reflection on that, at least in my opinion. Williamson County Sheriff. Oh, he became a WAP member. He didn't say nothing. He just joined my WAP. I guess he wants to see my videos early. Because if you're a WAP member, channel member, my videos, when I put them up at night, you can watch them then. You don't have to wait till the next day. That's about the only perk right now. And you get a little icon after your name over in the chat, so we know you're a true believer. So I don't kick you out of my chat like I did that other guy earlier. Mark Lax. That sounds like X-Lax, and that's making my tummy rumble. There should be one age where you are legally an adult. So either 18, 21, 23, or 25. I vote 25. But as for now, the way it is now, yes. Also, you think one wrong justifies another. I don't. I say don't create another wrong just because one already exists. We got one more person weighing in here, and then we're done with today's topic, and we can add up what the consensus was in here today. This was from Williamson County Sheriff, actually weighed in here and said, I'd have said yes at that age, but now at 28, I say no. I agree. Well, of course you would have said yes at that age because you were stupid. You were stupid at that age. I look back at myself that age and I'm like, man, how did I survive being that stupid? Because I was very, very, very stupid. And I was much more mature than most people my age. I had to be the second parent in my family quite a bit. I was the oldest. I had to babysit. I had to prepare meals. I had to do laundry, everything. So I was 10 times more mature than the average 18-year-old. But I was still a fucking moron with a hot temper that probably should have, some of the things I did, I should probably still be sitting in jail. And I ain't, because I got lucky. And because I was purdy and I could talk my way out of things sometimes. But yeah, I agree. No. We got another couple people weighed in here at the last minute here. Danny Pent, who gave us the knives, by the way, we're giving away. I haven't done anything with the big knives yet, but I'm going to soon. Happy Juneteenth, a day to carry the USA made pro-constitutional and freedom-oriented round of 10 millimeter. I think every day is a good day to carry 10 millimeter. Glock 20 all the way, best handgun. I have a Glock 20. I love my Glock 20. I won't carry it because I'm scared of my Glock 20 because it's striker fired. So, but I still like it. I just ain't gonna carry it. It's scary. Chunky D 77 looks like he's going to be our last vote today. Said, if you are old enough to join the military, you should be allowed to own a gun. Well, that still doesn't answer the question either. Do you think that people at 18 shouldn't be able to join the military and shouldn't be able to own a gun? And we should change that whole thing with the military? Or do you think that, yes, they should be able to serve in the military at 18 and they should own a gun? So I'm not really sure which way to vote to count that one. So I think Welper will have to put that in an ambiguous category or something because it doesn't make a lot of, doesn't really answer the question, I guess I should say. But I want to thank everybody for weighing in over here. We'll have a tally here in a second from Welper. Let's see if he's put in the tally yet, like who voted yes, who voted no. He says 21 votes, 21 votes for 18, 10 votes for 21, and 9 have conditions on those opinions like classes or license. I counted everyone, not just supers. Oh, he counted. everyone. Well, that's as many. We had that many supers, I think. But 21 votes for 18, 10 votes for 21. So I guess the vast majority, or the majority, think you should be able to carry a gun at 18. I disagree with that, but that's not the majority opinion in here right now. Luckily, this ain't a democracy. So in here, no 18-year-olds with carrying guns. If I catch anyone carrying in here at 18 years old, I swear to God, I'll give you such a pinch. You'll rue the day. You'll rue the day. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. Okay. That was the count. Looks like about 2/3 believe that people should be able to carry at 18. And another third said they shouldn't. But 9 of the people who said they should had conditions. So there's that. I really thought most everybody would say yes, they agreed with it. So I was surprised if we even got a third of people saying no. Really am. I thought I'd be I'm in the minority, but I thought I'd be like in the bottom 10% or something. But thanks everybody for participating and help us kind of see where we stand on this. We'll keep an eye on the news. Like I said, Colorado just passed their law. They just got upheld about being 21. The judgment from, I think it was the Fifth Circuit that said 18-year-olds can buy guns, I do believe is being overturned on appeal. So looks like the country is saying no to 18-year-olds with guns. But we'll see how things pan out. We'll keep paying attention. I hope to see everyone. Oh, and how about you all out there in YouTube land? Let me know what you think in the comment section. And if you want to weigh in on one of these videos in person, come to our live chats. We do them every night at 6 p.m. And don't just stay for shooting the shit. Hang around, because immediately after we do this chat, we do our open chat where you can talk about whatever you want to talk about. Ask whatever question you want to ask. So stick around for that. Otherwise, I hope to see everybody again tomorrow. Until then, remember, always carry and stay safe until I see you again. Hey everybody, Yankee here. Before we go, I just want to take a second to remind everyone that this channel is 100% viewer funded. We don't take a penny from advertisers, retailers. We don't take money from political organizations. There's no one telling me what I need to tell you. Everything that we do is done through the generosity of our viewers, either buying merchandise or becoming a patron or a Subscribe Star member. You're all the ones that support Pets and Vets and TYMP. And that's the reason I can stay true to myself and loyal only to the people who watch my channel. And I can spend my time talking about what I want to talk about, telling what I think needs to be said, and giving you my uncensored take on things I think you need to hear. So if you'd like to help keep things that way, please support the channel by becoming a patron, a Subscribe Star supporter, or just going over to my web store and buying some merch. The links are all in the upper corner of this video.